My name is Ananya, and I'm the Managing Director for Hunter Foods. Hunter Foods is a leader in the manufacturing and distribution of innovative, alternative, and better-for-you snacks and foods in the UAE, the Middle East, and with a strong presence in Asia. Hunter Foods employs 200 people, and we distribute to over 35 countries in 5 continents. Hunter Foods was started by my father in 1985. We were the first factory in Jebel Ali Free Zone and the leader in salty snacks in the 1980s and the 1990s. But the market changed, Dubai changed, and it led to the point in 2013 where we were struggling to survive. We realized our revenues were not high enough and our costs were too high. In order to solve that problem, the first thing we did was start a new brand. A brand that would resonate well with us, something we were passionate about, and something that resonated with the consumer. And that was the whole concept of better-for-you snacking, premium snacking, gourmet snacking, and something which had packaging which was just as good as anything in the world. We also realized that we needed to change our business model, and rather than distributing only our products, we decided to distribute high-value products from partners who had similar ethos in the better-for-you foods as we did. This again increased the value and the basket size of the products we had to offer to the retailer. To reduce the costs, and we realized that as much as we're in the food business, we're also in the logistics business. And with that, we created hubs where to procure all our flavors, our oil, our potatoes, and everything else. And by doing that, we really reduced the landed costs of our products. By doing these two things, we were well on our way in being profitable. Now, scaling this up, it was all about relationships, and we built that with the retailer and with the consumers. The two main challenges we had at the time were, number one, we tried to do this without borrowing any money from any investors or the banks. The second, we didn't have much of a team at that time to work with. So I had to play the role of the department head in every single department, whether it was manufacturing, whether it was sales, whether it was finance. So to overcome this, we rapidly increased our sales, and we used that profit back as working capital. And secondly, that enabled us to start hiring more senior talent. To give us an example, the highest salary when I started was just over 10 to 12,000 dirhams. We rapidly had to increase the level of salaries post that to get the right people into the job so that we could keep growing at the pace that we had envisioned. If I had to do things all over again, there are a couple of things I would have done differently. First, I would have started by investing into the data to really understand the demand in the market. Not only for the category and the size of the prize, but also the subcategories and what the level of demand for all of those were. So to give you an example, we made a lot of mistakes around the world, and we spent a lot of money into areas which didn't have the right demand levels. For example, coconut chips. We launched coconut chips. It's a great product. A lot of customers loved it, but the entire market size was very small. So although at that time we thought the cost of buying that data was so high, we actually ended up spending a lot more money by trial and error in launching new products and having the failures in them just because we couldn't get the volume. It was a niche within a niche. It was just too small to be sustainable in a market with the size of the UAE. The second thing we would have done differently is that we would have borrowed money to scale up a lot faster, because we had a solid plan, but we tried to do it with just our own money. So if could do it all over again, would have borrowed that money, gotten the right team, gotten the information and scaled a lot faster than we did. The company was on a great path, and in fact in 2019 we achieved a growth of close to 30%. In March 2020, when we were at the height of COVID, the company still broke records and we had the highest month of sales in the history of the company. However, April had different plans. We had a fire incident where we lost all our production capabilities. But things were different. This time we had a strong team and we had a brand or brands with a lot of good consumer following, not only in the UAE, but in various countries around the world. This enabled us to quickly get back on our feet and end the year 2020 with a revenue down only 10% on prior year. What helped us getting out of the second crisis was, number one, bringing the team together, working really fast, making quick decisions. We made the decision right out of the gate to bring in the raw materials, because without the raw materials we couldn't start production again. The second thing we did was find production facilities where we could start manufacturing and not lose the market share that we had built and which was rising every single month. The third, at the same time, we started planning and building the interim facility. All of this has put us into a position where we have stabilized and are growing our market share again. And we're looking at 2021 to grow more than 50%. And we're very excited about taking this to the next level. There were three key takeaways that we had from this whole experience. The first was to have a very robust business plan, exactly what we were going to do to turn the business around. Second was to use our passions and strengths. The third is build the dream team, the winning team that can help you get there. If there are two things I would do differently, the first, I would get the information, the market data, no matter how expensive it seemed at that time, just to make that business plan even tighter, and have that belief and take that risk by borrowing money, and whether it is from investors or the banks, to build the team faster.